Hello, it's Valerie here from Pisces Mountain Farm. Thanks for joining me today. I'm getting ready to go do something scary, at least for me. I suffer from really bad social anxiety, and I know I don't talk about it on here a lot, but I don't go very many places. Well, our county is opening a seed library today, and I have some seeds that I would like to donate. And today's like their kickoff event party thing, so I'm going to go check it out and see what it's about. I guess here's to doing scary things. I'm here. I'm nervous. It's already started, so I'm going to go in. Okay, guys, that was just a whole lot of information, and it was a little overwhelming. I had fun. I'm just not used to being around that many people all at once, and so I'm kind of a little bit buzzing. Like, I don't know. I just get real weird around people, and I feel so awkward. I don't know if I am as awkward as I feel, but let me go ahead and show you. We just got like a whole lot of information. I bought a couple of books. I bought this, The Easiest Roses to Grow, because it's for a charity for the library. And then I got a couple of these Encyclopedia of Gardening books. There's two of those. There's 1 and 2. I got information about the farmer's market. I got a couple of free packs of seeds, but I didn't take too many of the free packs of seeds because I've got a bunch of seeds and I don't really need them. I got the seeds donated. I wanted to donate, and overall I'm just really glad I came, even though I'm feeling a little weird and like hopefully I didn't make too big of a fool of myself. I felt too awkward to get my camera out in there. I'm sure that I could have asked and people would have let me take either photos or get some film of their booth, but I just felt too weird and I couldn't do it. Sometimes it's worth taking those big steps, because I met a lot of friendly people today, and for me this was a huge step. I never go anywhere. Talk about how I don't really have any in-person garden friends. All my garden friends are on the internet, and it's not lost on me that if I don't come to things like this, I'm never going to meet those friends. So I try not to complain about it too much, because I know ultimately I'm the one that doesn't do anything or go anywhere to meet the people, and you have to get out of the house if you want to meet people in real life. Otherwise, all your friends are going to be on the internet, and you know, that's fine. I'm glad that people can have internet friends these days. It's just that if you're wanting those in-person friends, you got to step outside of your comfort zone. And this was a huge step outside of my comfort zone. Yesterday it was snowing, and today I'm out here in a tank top. Now, I will admit, the only reason I'm in a tank top is because I'm in my greenhouse and it's like 85 degrees. It's 55 out there, and yesterday it was literally snowing. We're in here in my greenhouse because I have these onions and I have severely neglected. So I'm going to go through and see what I can salvage and pot these up. Okay, the kind of onions I have are the Walla Walla sweet onion. It's G. Musselburgh. I just put the abbreviation. I would have to look it up, but it's a leek. I have the sweet Spanish yellow onion. I have a deep purple bunching onion. I have the guardsman onion. I have the white sweet Spanish onion. I have the blue of Solis leek. I have an alto leek, and this one is a guardsman onion. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get started on these, and since I accidentally ripped one of these out, this is the pot I'm starting with. I got them all potted up. I ran out of 1020 trays. I thought I had a few more, but let me show you what I've got. These right here are different leeks and bunching onions. Those are the ones that didn't have quite as many in the containers, so these are all different kinds. Like there's the white Spanish onion, the alto leek, deep purple bunching onion, guardsman onion, and blue of Solis leek, and then My Walla Walla onions took up a whole flat. My sweet yellow Spanish giant of Utah onions took this up. And this is also the yellow Spanish. And those are the giant Musselburgh leeks. There was about 10 or 12 of those. Alright, that's what I spent the afternoon doing. On to the next project. So it's been a few days since the clip of me going to the seed library opening, and the weather has changed drastically since then too. It was, I want to say 76 out here today, and beautiful. There were a few days where I just couldn't make myself pick up the camera, and so I went and did some gardening just for myself, where I didn't take a camera along. I just went out and did a few planting chores that needed done. And so I'm going to show you those real quick. I'm over here beside my greenhouse, and I just kind of want to show you one of the things that I did. So I was at Harbor Freight the other day to buy some T-posts, and I bought this rose, and I got it put in. It's one of the things that I did for my own, just for my own, to have my own gardening day. It was just about me and the soil and the shovel and the garden. So another thing I did the other day is I got a 10-pack of pine berries and Eversweet strawberries, and I transplanted them up here in this ring, and I also transplanted out some of the strawberries by my greenhouse, just to give the ones in there a little bit more room to grow. So when I was at Harbor Freight, I got a kit, so to speak, of pine berries, because you have to plant your pine berries with an ever-bearing strawberry. And the one that we got was called Eversweet. It came with it in the kit, so I planted those up here. Some days you have help in the garden, and it makes it much easier when you're not the one doing the work.
Be warned that in the summertime, that help turns into a garden pest that eats all your tomatoes.
We have this side left, and then this whole ring will be ready to receive mulch in the pathway. Just came out here to look at my hellebores and grab a couple pictures because they're looking quite glorious. I'm starting to see some germination in my winter sowing jugs. Can you see that in there? That is, let's see what we've got growing in here. Roman chamomile. I have other jugs where I'm not seeing germination yet, but it's always exciting whenever you start to see your first jugs getting some growth. One of the things I did whenever I was gardening just for myself is we cut back the blueberry bushes that I have out here by my driveway. These are very, very old plants, and we basically did a rescue pruning, a refurbish. They were getting to the point where because they hadn't been pruned in years, they were only getting top growth. And so we decided to cut them back pretty extremely. And I'll take you and show you what we did, but I want to give the warning, do not do this to your own plants. This is me taking my knowledge, a little intuition, and a whole lot of hopes and prayers that these things will come back. I mean, they've been cut back. Like, we had a goat one time that mowed one of them down, and it's also been caught with the weed eater a couple times, and that one's come back. So we do have evidence that they shouldn't die. Anyways, I'll show you what I did, and I'll explain a little better. Don't do these to your own bushes. I watched a whole lot of videos. I have accidentally cut them back before, and they've come back. There's just a lot of things that have come together to make me feel okay with what I'm doing. That combined with others who have berry patches who have guided me through YouTube. All right, let me show you. Okay, this is the first blueberry bush, and honestly, it was already this way. You can see it has a lot of new growth coming from the bottom. Try to move down here without slipping because it is on a hillside and muddy. But you can see all this new growth coming from the middle. The only thing we did on this one is you can see here, you can see right there, we kind of cut off some branches that were top heavy, cut out some dead pieces and some crossing pieces. This is the one our goat ate, and this is the one that was accidentally weed-eated back. We no longer have a goat, but when we did, this is the one that it liked. Okay, this next one over here, let me kind of show you the whole thing. This one was a rescue cut that we did, and the way you're supposed to do it is you find 2 or 3 of these really nice canes that have growth on them, and those will basically be what leafs out and what feeds your plant. And then you cut the rest of it back. Now we did leave a few canes here, as you can see right there. That's a newer shoot. It's got young growth on it. So we left those. And if you look down here, let me see if I can zoom in. There's new growth coming out already. But what it does is it stimulates growth from the roots, and these branches that we left are what's going to feed the plant. So it's really important that you pick a couple of really good branches to leave. And as new growth is stimulated in the bottom, and we get all that good baby growth, either next year or the year after, we will cut these branches out to match, and it basically refurbishes the bush. All the growth, as you can see, this is a good example. As you can see on this bush, these limbs are like, there's nothing, and then you get all the way to the top, to this part, and this right here is the only place where berries are growing. It used to grow all over. We used to get gallons and gallons and gallons just off of one. And now we're barely getting anything. And it is due to our own neglect. So that is why we did it. We did this one right here the same way. And this one right here, it looks really small, and, you know, compared to those, they still have some size to them. But this one is one last year we went out, and I want to say we cut about 1/3 of it back and anything that was dead. So over last summer and this spring, it's pushed up a lot of new growth. And so what we did in this one is we just finished taking out anything that was tall. All of this is newer baby growth. And once it gets a little bit more mature, probably next year, since we've already pruned on it this year, we'll go cut out anything that's too puny or that we don't want. We'll give it more of a shape. But for now, we're just going to let it kind of bush out and grow and just hopefully live its happiest healthy life. I do want to point out, if you do this kind of pruning, you're going to lose a year, maybe a few years of berries in the process. On those branches that we left with the canopy at the top, like right there, the places where we left that canopy, those areas still may get berries, but any place like this new bush, this one that's got all the new growth, it could possibly get berries this year, but it may take it a year or two before it starts to actually produce fruit again. So I want you to know, if you do this kind of rescue, pruning, refurbish that we're doing, it will cost you berries, at least for a season, maybe even a few. If you decide that your berries need this treatment because they've been neglected like ours were, and they've got healthy root growth, and you just feel confident in the fact that they're well established, struggling to survive, then please, please, please do a bunch of research, watch some videos, watch other people do cuts, learn as much as you can about how they grow. There are so many resources on Google and on YouTube. A lot of these people have huge berry patches where they're doing acres and acres and acres of berries. So just do your research. Find the technique you're comfortable with, and then know that things can go wrong, and even though you have your best intentions, you still might lose them. I doubt that's going to happen. I've done all the best practices I've can. I've done the studying, so just watch and see what happens from here. Look at that. Our daffodils are starting to open. First daffodils of the season. Another project that was finished that wasn't on camera is I finally got compost at the base of all the blueberries on this ridge here. So that was another thing we took care of without the camera being on. So yeah, all of this line of blueberries all have compost for the season. I still do want to go through and put some mulch on all these still. But also I feel like if that doesn't happen, it's okay because at least they're being fed. You know, it's warm enough out here. I probably don't need this jacket or this sweater. But I also don't feel like carrying it around either. And I don't want to walk to the house to put it away. So I'm just going to wear it. I think that I have a clip of us coming up here and starting to do this ring with the mulch. I'll put that in now. We ended up not getting it finished because it rained. It started raining and we got rained out. I'll show you what we got done, and it's not as satisfying as seeing the whole complete before and after. I know that those videos are highly satisfying and they give you a real sense of accomplishment. But this is real life here. I don't have a team of help. I get help from the fam every once in a while if they have time and they're able. But other than that, it's just me. Most days it's just me out here working alone, so you don't always get the complete beginning to end shot, and that's okay because eventually we'll get to that so-called end shot, though is really anything ever done or ever finished in the garden or the house for that matter. So I guess with all that rambling and all that pontificating, let me show you where we're at right now. I showed you all that I moved some strawberries up here, and that was just a couple days ago, but as you can see, the baby brand new ones are starting to come out of dormancy, so there is that. As you can see, we got half of it mulched. Those birds are being really, really loud. I don't know if y'all can hear those birds, but they're bickering about something, it sounds like. Anyways, we got half of the ring done, so we still need to come do this other half. We got this mulched, and we got this whole area where I planted my clematis, and we just laid the moss back down there. This area right here will get wood chipped as well. But I do want to show you, I was so afraid all season long that these clematis are dead because I've never grown them before. I mean, I've admired other people's, but I've never grown them, so I just left them alone because I know some bloom on old wood and some bloom on new wood, so I wasn't sure what type I had. I have the tags. I honestly just haven't looked it up because I've had so much other stuff going on. But I'm happy to say we do. Trying to let that focus. I hope that focuses there. We do have bud growth. And then there's growth there as well. So those are coming back. And the plan is hopefully they grow over this whole old greenhouse structure and basically become a house of plants. We do have a couple of changes we're doing to this area. So we have this garden here, and what we hope to do is connect it to this ring. So basically, this little area here will also be behind a fence, and it'll extend this garden a little bit. I want to say it's been a good 10 to 12 days since the start of this video, and I know it's been very sporadic. It's been over several days. It's jumped around, but that's just kind of the nature of living on a farm and doing a garden this time of year. You're out here working in the time that's allotted due to the weather, and then whenever it's too yucky to be out here, you do the inside stuff, or at least that's how it works for me. I know that it makes these videos not quite as fulfilling to watch, and it doesn't give you that sense of completion, but like I said earlier, this is realistic. This is the way it is, and I hope you enjoyed this video anyways. I do think I'm going to wrap this up here, and I will bring you along for the updates to all these projects as they happen. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.